All right, let me get to the spot. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Let me get myself set and centered. Hit the spot. See, got to get to the spot. Got to get lined up. All right, this is Plan Your Greatness, and I am your gracious host, Carlton Hamilton, and we're still on chapter 7. So I don't need to do a weigh-in or anything, but we're going to get right to it. I'm going to try to make this short. It's just another part of the book, a section that I wanted to talk a little bit about because I think it's relevant to, where we are in our lives. You get a little bit about my journey and how I moved along, how I was able to dig myself out of that hole, self-imposed hole, and come back into where I'm able to really, really give some insight into my thought process. And I think these things can help you as far as whatever you're doing is help you be a better person, be more successful, more prosperous in any avenue that you're taking as far as with your life. All right. So again, this is chapter 7. The initial title of this chapter is Chasing Bobby Smith. But this section has more to do with just standing on your principles. Now, when I got to prison, I had to make some very, very important decisions. And that was, I needed to know who I was going into prison so I would not be swayed back and forth by just, the time that you're in there, the other things that are going on, the threats, the temptations. So you've got to know who you are or some way take a stand. And I had a couple of instances, and I talk about them specifically in the book. I talk about the confrontation that I had where I had a guy ask me to go kill somebody, or not necessarily kill somebody, but stab somebody. They were going to provide me with the shank, and this guy had either gotten himself in debt or whatever, so I was going to take out, I would perform the hit. And I just remember looking at the guy and I knew how much time he had. He had a lot of time. And I knew how much time I had. A minute. So I just said, no. I said, you're going to need to find somebody else. Now think about had I not had set in motion the principles that I had, as far as I told myself that I was going to stand on truth. I said I was going to speak my mind, and I was just going to be honest. Okay, so those were the things that I set in motion. So when these things came about, it was very easy for me to make the decision that I did. And I learned as I look back at that, and I learn now and I try to teach my kids as far as when I just give them simple decision. Like yesterday, I asked my daughter something and I told her, well, what do you think? And then she said, well, it doesn't really matter. I said, sweetie, I asked you for your opinion. People do that all the time. Somebody will ask me, well, what do you think? And they go, well, it really doesn't matter. Like it may be real simple. Hey, let's go out to eat. Where would you like to eat? Oh, it really doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden you pick a place. Well, how about here? No, I don't really want to go. Okay, well then it does matter. So like I've told my kids, when somebody gives you the floor to make a decision, make a decision. But if you're flip-flopping about stuff, when you're presented with the opportunity to make decisions, you don't make good decisions because you're not standing on anything. So it was very easy for me to just go, no, I have more important things I need to do. So while I was in there, that was one of the challenges, is that I had to make a decision as far as my manhood. If I was going to take that, shank and stab somebody, I would have making a huge mistake. I had to make a choice as far as people threatening my freedom of movement within the prison system. Hey, you need to do this or these are to be the repercussions. I said, well, bring them on. And it's in the book. I literally said, just bring it on, because if I give in to that, now I'm going to be subjecting myself to people challenging me. Just, oh, he a punk, he whatever. And it really wasn't even about being a punk. It was just that, no, I'm not going to compromise my new decisions. And the other one was, and I saw this quite often, and it just really disturbed me. And that was, I saw guys that clearly on the streets They say, I'm a man. I'm not a homosexual. Or I don't mess around with other men. But the environment, sexual desires are super duper strong, which we see by, I'm not going to get off into, my thinking in that as far as with other things that are out in the world right now. But sexual desire is very, very strong. Strong enough to where Napoleon Hill was writing about this in his book, Think and Grow Rich and the Laws of Success. I challenge you to go pick up one of those books and find the sections where he's talking about really having control over your sexual urges. Now, here we are in prison and no women around, okay, except for the guards. But under some strange circumstances, because I saw some guys actually having, they had gotten into very intimate relationships with some of the guards. But for the most part, that's not happening. So here you are in prison and you have a short sentence like mine and you have these long sentences like other people. Okay, and you're having these sexual urges. Well, you have a couple of options. You all know what options I'm talking about. You have a couple of options. And I saw some people take some options, one option, and I saw people take other options. And I just, when I saw that, I just said, nah, I'm not going to do that. Because this is how I saw it. If I let my guard down and I said, well, I'm having these very strong sexual desires and urges, well, this one time it won't matter. I'll let old boy do this to me, or I'll do this to somebody else. They're offering, Now, you did it the first time. Now that urge is going to come back again. What are you going to do then? Oh, I'm locked up, man. It's just, I got to get through this time, man. I got to ease my mind. A lot of stress. Yeah. You absolutely have the freedom to do that. But now all of a sudden your time ends. And now you're out into the real world. And you have sexual desires. Are you going to be able to discipline yourself to get yourself back to normal? Because let me make this clear. These were individuals that clearly stated, I ain't no punk, and all that. But then they would satisfy their sexual desires or urges in this particular way. So what I'm getting at is that, do you allow circumstances? Do you allow feelings? Do you allow these urges to supersede your philosophy? Because I said that before. One of the powerful things that's going to propel you forward is that you stand on knowing that your philosophy, where you want to go, your purpose, your why, is more powerful than your feelings, which are your urges, which are your emotions, which you have control over them. And I thought that was very powerful as I was going through that. And then it just comes back to me saying, what are you standing for? What do you stand for? What principles? And even though nobody else may even see those are yours. And I think those things will eat at your subconscious, or they're going to reveal themselves in a moment where you be like, oh man, yeah, shoot, then came out. And the other thing that I wanted to mention in there is, as I was making those decisions, as I was having to stand on those principles, I realized that I had developed those on my own. Now, not by my father. Now, my father gave me a phenomenal work ethic. I saw him get up every day, go to work every day, and I will applaud him for passing that on, because if people that played sports with me will tell you that I worked very hard as an athlete. I may not have had the right focus. I may not have had again, my father, as far as there were situations where I really needed his guidance and I didn't get it. I had to create my own guidance. So here I was in prison doing the same thing, creating my own support and guidance. And I know how important those things are. That's why I'm trying to be as impactful on my children's life as far as imparting the proper wisdom so they can go ahead and make the right decisions in their lives. So that was very challenging. So now I wanted to keep this video short because I have another, and there's another piece to chapter 7 that I want to make into an individual video. So my challenge to you is, ask yourself the 3 questions. And I've said this in multiple videos. Ask yourself the 3 questions. What do you want? Why do you want it? And can you actually see yourself being, doing, having what it is that you're setting this goal out to be? And then what I challenge you to do is go look at one of the other videos and find, because I think I broke down the 9 pillars of success or 9 pillars of wisdom into individual videos. So you can go listen to them all and find out which one really resonates with you and apply that. And apply that for 21 days. You actually don't even need to have the 3 questions answered. You can take the 9 pillars, pull one of those things out and apply it to your life. Now it's more powerful. It's like the multiplier if you have your 3 questions answered. So, all right, that's my challenge. Ask yourself the 3 questions, find those videos, apply one of the pillars, do it for the next 21 days. Give me some feedback when you do, and love to hear from you. All right, this is Plan Your Greatness. This is Carlton Hamilton, and I'm going to say this again. Plan your greatness. Why? Because no one else will. See you guys soon.